way to develop your marketing message, right? The right and wrong way to develop your marketing message. So the big mistake that so many people make is kind of splitting hairs about the exact words, and they get really nervous about what exactly do I say and what are the exact words of the message, and if I don't say it exactly right, you know, and I need a script. And you'll never need that, and it really won't matter if you understand your value and you understand what it is you do, and you are extraordinarily knowledgeable about it and well read, and you are staying relevant on the topics, right? The best way to know what to say to book gigs and to attract people to your talk is to first identify the value you deliver, which is their pain or problem. It's the problem you solve. So you probably heard value proposition, you've heard all these words before, and really what you want to be thinking about is, if I'm in front of someone speaking, why will they want to listen? What is in it for them? And it's the pain and the problem that they have that you have a solution to. That's what's in it for them. So once you know that problem that you solve, then all of your messaging, your titles, your content, actually everything falls into place because you know what it is they are wanting. And the trick is really to start with one big idea first, right? Start with one big idea first before you dive into the specific words of your messaging. Because if you have that one big idea and you're not so focused on scripts and details and step-by-step, then it's so much better for you because you build it in a natural, authentic way that's very much your language. And yes, you're going to write a speech and you're going to deliver a speech, but you don't want to deliver a talk. Let me say this again. Yes, you're going to write a speech and you're going to deliver a speech, but you don't want to deliver a talk, which means I wrote these words down and I'm talking to this audience in this way. You want some flexibility in it. You want some ease in it. And so when you understand the big idea, you're delivering the message, but you're doing it in a very natural way, right? So your value proposition, let's start there. This is the problem you solve. A value proposition is the value you bring to the marketplace. It's the problem you solve. The problem you solve is the one big overarching idea of your business. It's the one big theme. It is what you do. It's what you do to help people. And everything you talk about has to be connected to that one big idea. Stories, examples, data, teaching points, quotes, all of it, right? So remember the big red buttons from the Staples office store, and your value proposition is a little bit like that, right? It's the button that people press. Remember, I think you pressed it and said, that was easy. People press that, and over again, right? Everywhere you go, that message of that red button is who you are and what you do and what you do for people, right? It tells people immediately, this is how I can help you. This is the problem I solve. This is who I am. So another way to kind of think about it is it's like your North Star. And if you're talking with an event planner or an event coordinator, you will always find that if you know that guiding place for you and that North Star, that you'll always be able to riff. You'll always be able to improvise and tweak what your talk is a little bit if you understand that one big idea. And once you know what that one big problem is, you can talk around that easily. So your value proposition is an extension of your point of view. It's the next logical step where your POV is coming kind of your point of view, and we don't do a ton of point of view work in this program because it's pretty sophisticated, but your point of view is the lens through which you see the world. Your value is it's much more tangible. It's much more specific. It's the problem you solve. It's your teaching, right? It is what you bring to the marketplace. So it also should be pretty simple. So when I hear people say that's really boring, or I hear people say, oh, you know, I want to be different, Guys, this is pretty boring, right? This is actually what you use that is kind of nuts and bolts language. So don't try to make it poetic. Don't try to make it more difficult than it needs to be. Don't go, but I want to be unique. You don't want to be unique. There's only a certain amount of things to solve in the world. People want to get healthier. They want to get happier. They want to get thinner. They want to get richer. They want to get more time back. They want to be less stressed. They want to get a better job. They want to advance in their career. They want to be a better leader. There's only like a handful of things that people want to change in the world. So don't try to get too fancy or poetic with your value proposition. The stories you tell and your angle to that is where you use your uniqueness. So let me give you a few examples of value propositions, okay? And there's actually quite a few here, but I think they can really help you. And I'm gonna read these so I make sure that I don't mess one up because there's a lot of them here. So let's just make sure that you understand when I tell you what it is the person does, right? Then the flip side of this is their value proposition. So let's just jump to an example. Relationship coach. Value proposition is find the love of your life. Because this isn't complicated, straightforward. Is there anything confusing about that? Super clear. It's the value proposition. Artist. Happy walls equals happy home. Small business attorney, protect your assets. Business consultant, make more sales with high-end offers. A bookkeeper, cut expenses and boost your revenue, okay? Got a few more going here. Sleep expert, get a good night's sleep. It does not need to be a mini novel or a soliloquy. If you're a sleep expert, you help people get a good night's sleep. You help people finally go to bed. Now, some of you may go, oh, but I do so much more than that. Sure you do. If you get a good night's sleep, you probably lose weight. If you get a good night's sleep, you're probably nicer to your kids. If you get a good night's sleep, you probably make more money. But that's not what you're talking about. You're talking about the single focused value proposition. Payment center, lower processing fees on credit cards. Career coach, advance your career without sacrificing your personal life. Dog groomer, clean and happy dog. Virtual assistant, free up more time. Event planner, make more money from events. Photographer, be seen as an expert in your industry. So in other words, if you were a photographer who did photos for business owners or headshots, people would be able to be seen as a professional expert in their industry. Makeup products, keep people's skin from breaking out. Makeup for sensitive skin. Weight loss coach, permanently lose weight without dieting. PR agency, done for you media exposure. Corporate consultant, eliminate team drama. Organizer, declutter for more productivity. Personal assistant, get things done without having to think about it. Graphic designer, look great online. These are simple, but they're very, very clear, and that's the key thing here, right? So how do you determine your value proposition, right? How do we get this for you? So really, the first thing you do is you got to pick one of three categories, all right? You ready to write these down? Because you're going to pick one of three categories. And the first is health. The second is wealth. And the third is relationship. So health, wealth, or relationship. Everybody's going to fall under one of those three. You cannot pick two. I'm sure you could, what you do could affect two, but you just pick one. Event planners won't hire you. You won't be able to get on stages if you're all over the place. One big idea, it starts with one big problem you solve. Choose one. Health, wealth, or relationships. Now, that's step one. Step two is you pick an avatar, right? An avatar is someone who your market represents, right? It's a single person and not a mass of people. And it's much easier for you to design your talk and hook on an audience when you have a single person in mind. When you have one person, you're like, this is Sally. Sally is 42 years old. She works in corporate America. She does yoga every Saturday. She has one child. She lives in an urban environment. When you get that deep and that rich, that's how you really get clear on who your avatar is, which really affects your value proposition, right? So this could be a few different things. Like, here's some ideas of how you can kind of come up with this. One, it could be you in your past, right? It could be you in your past. Two, it could be a favorite client you've worked with. Could be a favorite client you've worked with. Three, could be someone you know, right? Could be someone you know. Someone who you have helped, friend, family member, someone you're close with that you've observed. Could be a combination of people and clients that you know. And here, again, do not be all over the place. You'll hear me preach this over and over again. Choose one, right? So what is a great example of you in the past that you would want to help? Who is someone you know that you go, that's the exact type of person that I want to work with, and I know that I could support and I could solve their problem, right? You paint one picture. And here's kind of how you paint that picture of the avatar. And there's a before and after worksheet here that you're going to use, that you can download that in the portal. And this workshop is a powerful tool to getting really clear about who are these individuals that's going to be your ideal audience, right? Especially for when you're booking gigs. And listen, when you're a speaker, not every room is full of 100% of your ideal audience, but you're always looking to get a room of about 75% of your ideal audience. So in this before and after worksheet, it's really a great way for you to kind of see and feel what their life is like with their problem and what it's like after their problem is solved. So the one piece of advice I can give you here, and it is so critical, is do not be bland. Do not be bland, right? Please do not be bland. Don't go, oh, they have more joy, or oh, they are feeling better. No, you have to get really specific, right? So put everything to the extreme. Everything should feel a little exaggerated and to the extreme. Okay, this is about painting a really, truly vivid picture. So there's a river analogy here. Let me just explain it to you. So the river analogy is that I'm over here on the island of excellence. Less weight, less stress, more money, right? I'm over here, and that's where this person wants to get. They want to get from the piece of land they're on through that river to the island that we're on that gets them what they want. And so in other words, for them to be able to get there, you have to be able to solve their problem. You have to speak to them in a specific way. So there's the bank of pain and problems, and there's the island of what they actually want. Your audience is in the problem land right now, right? Your target market, your avatar is in the problem land. There's a river separating them, right? And they want to get to the promised land. So first, you have to understand what their everyday life is like before you can even talk to them in a way that they can hear you, right? For them to come over to the promised land. So this just kind of helps you get out of your head a little bit and actually into their world. So it's really about starting with the before, right? Starting with the before picture. Before they met you, what was their life like? Focus on the problem related to what you do, right? What do they have? What do they not have? How do they feel? And exaggerate it. Remember to exaggerate it. What's a typical average day for them like? Like, how are they waking up? What's the first few things they do? What's their challenges? How are they feeling when they get up? Are they dreading it? Are they overwhelmed? Are they, whatever it is, right? When you get to status, what's the voice in their head saying to them? Are they saying, like, you're never going to get this right? Are they saying, you know, here you are, you're a failure? Are they saying, oh my gosh, I can't possibly get this done? So, right, bottom line is, what is the voice in their head saying? And again, go to the exaggerated place, right? Not just, oh, you're tired. No, I don't know if I can get out of bed. That's the exaggerated place. And the other key thing is what do they think other people are saying about them? Right? What's that voice in their head where other people are saying something about them? And so the theme here is, if you're going to sum all of this up in a couple of words, what would it be, right? So this is almost like the tagline of a movie. Don't make it complicated. Don't overthink it. It's just for you to kind of easily anchor the before of your avatar so you know how to communicate with them. Now, do the same for the after. You just go through the same process, but it's after they've worked with you, after they've solved their problem, right? What does all of this look like? So this is after they have gotten their result. This is after they are out of pain. Identify what they have now, how this makes them feel, now what they're saying to themselves, now what their status is, what other people are saying about them. Just go through all of that in the same way. And guys, I am telling you, these two exercises are the hardcore really of all the business coaching that we teach, because when you get this right, everything gets easier, because you know exactly who your market is and you're able to speak to them in a language where they go, how do they know what my inner thoughts are? And that is magic when it comes to being a speaker.